If you would like to learn how to knit a super speedy top-down seamless cardigan, then the Breac Cardigan is the one you're looking for. As you can see, there's many variations. Both of these are in a super chunky yarn, and I've got a soft spot for super chunky because it tends to be fast to knit, and a lot of them are really, really soft, so very wearable. And we've also done a second pattern, so the workshop will have both patterns, the super chunky and this one is in chunky knit a little bit more loosely, so this one is a little bit more airy and not quite as heavy or as dense as the super chunky. So you can take your pick as to which you'd rather do. Now about the pattern, if you haven't done top-down knitting before, this is actually a really good place to start because it's aimed at a fairly new top-down knitter. Or if you've done a little bit before, hopefully it'll introduce a few new techniques. So it's top-down raglan, and I've used a yarn over method for the openings here. Reason for that is chunky yarns and super chunky yarns tend to be very heavy, and so I'm trying to introduce a little bit of lace work and a little bit of open so that it's lightening up a small bit and not creating as much density or as much weight in the yarn. So the yarn overs create this really interesting open raglan seams. Then as you work down, you remove the sleeves from the body, and when you get to the bottom of the body, we are going to learn how to do just this little delicate lace pattern where there is a decrease in the middle and that yarn over increase on each side. Now that is completely optional. If you just want a plain garter stitch at the bottom, you can do that. But I do quite like just a little bit of added interest it gives. And again, it also helps, like with the yarn overs here, to lighten up that super chunky a little bit. When you've finished, you're going to pick up stitches all the way around in garter stitch, and you learn how to make one big buttonhole. So single row buttonhole we're going to learn how to do in this pattern if you haven't done it before. Very versatile. You can even change the size depending on the size of your button. So we'll talk all about that as we're going through the actual pattern. So very fast cardigan if you're a new knitter, lots of new techniques. If you just want a very fast cardigan to work on, then jump in and grab the pattern if you've done a garment before. Now, if you like the idea of doing a cardigan, but perhaps you don't want chunky or super chunky, then the next video is going to be all for you. We're going to look at the cardigan Dacite, which is again a top-down raglan one, but it's using a worsted or a Aran weight yarn for the actual cardigan. So it's going to be still a little heavier for kind of cooler seasons, but it's not going to be quite as heavy as a chunky or a super chunky. So see you in the next video.